Hi, I'm Rob Haddock, the president and CEO and founder of S5.
And I'm Harry Carner, vice president of manufacturing for S5.
We're proud of the USA, and we do prefer to manufacture in the USA, but moreover, we manufacture in our own facility. We control every aspect of it from soup to nuts.
I'm very, very proud of that. And my employees are proud of that, and they strive towards that. Those people want to make good products because they stand behind it. Their names are on every box of part that goes out of that plant. They know what they're doing.
Our name's on everything and our reputation's on everything, and that means a lot to us.
All of the employees are part of the family. They understand what they want to do, what they need to do, and we empower them to make some of their own decisions.
We want our team to feel a sense of ownership, and that's what makes them more valuable to the company as a whole.
They want to know why and how it's used, and because they do know why and how it's used, they understand how important it is to make it the quality product that it is.
We have a track record of doing what we do. There may be a couple of competitors who have been in business for as long or longer, but they can't copy that track record. They can't copy all the certifications that we have. They can't copy all the lab testing that we've done, and those kinds of things are important. We're in a constant program of innovation and improvement. We're changing and we're evolving and we're maturing and we're upping our game in every area of our business.
Hello, can you guys hear me? I hope that you can hear me. After our video presentation, we are gonna leave some minutes so people get connected on this webinar. Thank you for the guys that are present here right now. Let me share my screen. Kimberly, if I can see my screen now. There you go. Okay, you guys can see my screen. Well, here we are with Tara Manick from our partner in Trinidad and Tobago. The company is Engineering Clean Technology Limited, and she's helping us with this webinar. And also we have from our team, we have Alex Fuentes, which is our Latin America and Europe field specialist that is going to be here answering questions. We have a section here for okay, perfect. Great that everybody can hear me. So we have a section here on the right side of the screen, which is the chat that everybody can talk here. But also, if you have questions during the presentation, please do it on the Q&A section that is right next to the chat box. We're gonna have some polls, questions during the webinar. So it's just you can answer, just click, or you can skip it. And that's it. Also, we're gonna have a section of Hangout too that you can download some brochures and some information about what we are discussing right now. So now we're gonna give in a time to introducing a little bit our partner, Engineering Clean Technology. And Tara, it's your time now to introduce your company. You're gonna share a bit.
morning, Are you guys hearing me? Good morning, everyone. My name is Tara Manik, and I'm the Managing Director for Engineering and Clean Technologies Limited. We are happy to partner with S5 to host this webinar on the solar railless mounting and to showcase the advantages and the applications and the benefits to its use in the solar industry. I will now hand over to JC.
Okay. Thanks, Tara. Okay, so a little bit of introduction. Engineering Clean Technologies are a new distributor in Trinidad and Tobago, that area, and that's why we are doing this webinar in order to help with all the markets in that area and having a stock, which is something that we're going to discuss during the presentation, but we're going to try to keep stock in that area so it's easy for you to use in our products. Okay, so a little bit of introduction of S5. I'm going to introduce our team that we work in international for Latin America and Europe, including Caribbean. Which is Alex Fuentes, I introduced you already, which is our field specialist. So you guys have any projects that need some, bill of materials or anything like that, he can help. He can help you with all those things. We have Susan Guerra too, who is our marketing coordinator for LATAM, and she helping us with all the marketing material that you guys need, or any image or whatever you guys need on videos resources too. We have also Jose Luis, which is in Spain, and he's in charge of logistic. We have a warehouse in Spain since this year, so he's helping out with the logistic. And I'm JC, or Juan Carlos Fuentes, international sales director for S5, taking care of Latin America, Caribbean, and Europe at the moment. So that's what we are working on. This is the team. And a little bit of introduction of the topics that we're going to present today. We're going to talk about the introduction of S5 as a company, what we do, and why we do the products that we're going to show you later. Also, talk about about metal roofing types, direct attach versus railing system on metal roof, exposed fastener versus standing seam roof, a little bit of certifications that we have, and then we're going to show some projects of pictures installed. Okay, so again, if you have any questions or anything that you want to ask, please go to the Q&A section and you can do it over there. And also on the chat, if you need anything to do to the group, you can do it on the chat group. Okay, let's move forward. Let's start with the introduction of S5. A little bit of S5. S5 has already 30 years in the market. We are a company based in Texas, 2 hours north of Dallas. So we are a company that is focused on metal roofing attachment. We are a global company. We have been testing more than 2,500 modules already. I'm going to explain a little bit during my presentation about this testing. Beside the line of solar attachment, we have the other line, which is snow retention. That you won't see that issue on the Caribbean, but on the northern Caribbean, on the Canada or northern the United States, you will see a lot of that. So on metal roofing, we already installed more than 5 gigawatts installation on metal roof, which is a lot for metal roof. You can see projects that are going from like 100 kilowatts sometimes to like 1 mega. So we have already 5 gigawatts installed. Since until last year, we had 25 years warranty on our products, but since we turned 30 years in the market, we changed it, and we got now the best warranty of our products in the whole market, which is a lifetime warranty since last year. We can do that because we control the whole process. Everything is made in the US. In our factory that is in Dallas. How you can see, this is our manufacturing in Dallas. was an old Walmart supermarket that we refurbished and we made it looks better, and then we install our factory in this building. So here you can see where we produce our products. We have the top of the line products technology to do all this process of extrusion and on all those like routing and CNC machines in order to make the products the best quality as possible. So that is is a manufacturer is ISO 9001 2015, and we are constantly inspected by the UL, FM, and ICC or Intec certifications. And here you can see the interiors of our manufacturer where we control the whole process. This is critical for us. We are manufacturer. We don't stock the products. We stock the products with our local partner and local distributors all over the world. Here you can see we have around 180 employees in total. And here's some of the shift of the manufacturer, but we are trying to we are continuing growing in the market and continue growing, hiring more people as well. A little history to talk about S5. I need to talk about Rob Haddocks. Rob Haddocks is the cowboy that you can see here in the picture. He's a CEO and founder of the company. He is the top one metal roofing consultant in the world, and then after like 50 years in the market, being a consultant for metal roofing, he realized that 30 years ago most of the issues that occur on the metal roofing was the way how they attach products on the metal roof. So that's why he created S5. So you can see in 1991 it was the first started as a prototype. He started using this clamp on the standing seam roof because it started developing some products that can fit better on the standing seam without damaging the roof, but also you can attach and you can have the strength that they need. So how he says like the clamp on the standing seam is like a saddle on the horse. So that's how they fit. And since then, it's a non-stop in growing for the company. In 1998, it moved to Europe. So where we have all the fall protection system, they use our clamps. All the biggest fall protection companies, they use our clamps, especially in Europe. And in 2011, Rob Haddocks and Harry Garner, they joined and they create the company in Dallas, the one that I just showed you before. And since then, instead we keep growing in global. We are present now in more than 70 countries. That is kind of like an introduction of S5. We just focus on metal roof because that is what our expertise is coming from. We don't do attachment for any other kind of roof, just metal roof. And we know that metal roof is one of the best platforms to install solar or other kind of products because it lasts longer than other products and you don't have to do maintenance compared with other kind of roof that exist in the markets. Talking about a little bit of metal roofing types, there's two lines for us of metal roofing, or two types. One is the exposed fastener roof. Exposed fastener, we call exposed fastener because you can see the fastener on the top of the roof. It could be attached. You can see the screws maybe on the bottom, on the valley, on the trapezoidal shape, or on the top, on the rib of the roof. So this is kind of we call it exposed fastener, and they are these are the most standard type of roof. So and they're manufacturing kind of like this way, different kind of roller formant has a different shape. So the trapezoidal can change dimensions or shape as well. Could be trapezoidal, or could be corrugated like this, undulated like this. So, but all this line of products doesn't matter if it's the shape that it has. If you have screws on the top, it means that it's exposed fastener for us, and that means that you need to perforate this roof in order to attach anything that you want. Okay, we're going to talk about a little bit about that as well. This roof can be like a sandwich panel, or like be with insulation on the bottom, a double layer sheet too, and different kind of shape. Okay, and the other kind of type of roof that exists is the standing seam roof, which is one of the best roofs that exists in the market. This standing seam doesn't have any screws on the top. You don't see any perforation on the top of this roof. You can't perforate, you can't make any hole on this roof, because you avoid the warranty of the roof, and that's not really good for the owner of this roof. So these are called standing seam, and if you haven't seen how they made it, there's different kind of shape on the seam, and these are custom made. They made it on the site, on the same job, and they bring these machines that you can see here, similar to this one, where they made the whole tray on the field, and this machine cut the length of these trays from the length of the roof, so it's go to top to the bottom, and it can this machine they have different kind of standing seam depending on the brand, but in general it's the same concept, that you can just put a whole tray from top to the edges of the roof, the bottom of the roof. So it's a continuous tray that it doesn't perforate. These trays are fastened to the roof with clips. So there's some clips that you can see on the image. These clips are attached to the bottom of the roof. Just go to the purlin, or go to the wood deck or metal deck, whatever you have underneath the roof, and then you put the next tray next to it. And after you put both trays together, there is a machine like this one that is a simmer. That the simmer, what it does is basically fold this seam, and folding this seam and make it tight, and has different kind of shape depending on the machine that you're using. Okay, so this roof are one of the best that exist in the market. There are different kind of gauges. Gauges is the thickness of the material. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. But this roof, you can't perforate. Don't do any hole on this roof, especially if you attach solar on it. That's why we have the line of products that doesn't perforate that. Here you can see how they being installed. The roof, the whole trays on the roof. You can see some poles that are showing up. You can answer yes or no, and submit that answer. Here's how it being installed, these trays on the roof. So well, I mentioned the metal roofing came in different kind of gauges, and depending of the thickness. So we have gauges that are going to between 22 gauge to 26. The most common one are 26 and 24 gauges. Over 26, we don't recommend to install anything, because it's going to be too thin. You will see that because you're going to go on the roof, and maybe the roof is going to bend, or it's going to make a hole just with your foot when you step on it. So you will see that. I mean, we don't recommend to install on gauges that are over 26, because it's too thin, and you're going to have issues then with your solar attachment. And you know that this solar has to last at least 25 years on the roof. So you want something that the platform of the roof that lasts longer than that. Okay. So now that we introduce a little bit about metal roof, we're going to talk about the different ways to how to attach on the roof. From the beginning, when the first installations that were on the rooftop, I mean, we're talking about this image is for 1884. This is a project in New York. I mean, more than 100 years old, this photo, you can see how they start using the rooftop for solar attachment. And since then to now, it has been changed a lot in technology and efficiency and everything. on this, on not just on the modules, but also on the attachment and on the metal roof. Okay, the metal roof are way better technology now. They are making the better quality. How you mentioned that they had gauges 22, 24 that are really thick and really last more than 30 years, depending on the location where they are. So you can install in two different ways. You can install it with a rail system on the roof, or you can install direct attach, basically direct on the roof without using a railing system. We're going to talk a little about that too. But for example, here you can see when you attach on with rail, you want to sometimes you want to tilt a little bit the modules so you can have more performance on this system. The most important thing is how it's attached to the roof. We don't provide the railing system. We provide just the clamps that you can attach the rail to the roof. That's what we provide when we install with metal with a railing system. Now the trending right now is changing from a rail to direct attach, because railing system is cost more on structure, on all the railing and the aluminum and logistic and everything else. So that's why now instead of investing, I don't know, $10,000 more on railing system, they just do direct attach on the roof and maybe put more modules on the roof, and has the same performance that you wanna get with railing system. Now the modules are, I mentioned, they have better performance than before, so you don't need much changing on degrees angle in order to get the same performance that you're looking for. If you attach on railing system beside doing with tilt, you can do it flat like this. But how I mentioned before, the most important thing is how it's attached to the roof. In the Caribbean, of course, we're going to talk about a little bit the forces. When you use rail, you have more negative force on the modules compared with a direct attach. Now talking about the different ways, like when you attach with rails, what you can see here in the picture is like rail on the top of rails. That's what we see in this kind of picture. That's why the concept of direct attach is really important for us, and is a trending now in the market, because you can see that adding more rails to the roof that is already has rails. You can see on this standing seam roof, the roof already had the rails on it. So when you install modules on this kind of roof with a railing system, you put the rails perpendicular to the seam, and then you put the modules parallel to the seam, like this way. This is how you install with railing system, which is everybody's doing this for a long time with railing system. Now the different technology that we are using since almost 10 years ago is a direct attach, which is the same roof on the standing seam. We use the same roof as the rail, and so you can install here another pole that you can see on the image. So you just answer that. So you can see the solar modules that is perpendicular to the seam. Instead of parallel to the seam, this is perpendicular. So you attach on the same seam with a direct attach. The direct attach is basically using how I mentioned, the seam as a rail, as you can see here. So the only thing that changed will be just the bottom part, depending on what kind of seam it is. But the PV kit, which is our products that we use for direct attach, consists in two pieces, which is the disc that you can see here, and the grab. Could be H or could be mid grab, depending on location on where you're going to install in the between modules or on the edge of the modules. The PV kits is coming this mid grab and H grab, like you can see here. And you can use it with clamps. These are compatible with the majority of our products that we have, not just the clamps, but also with brackets. Here you can see an image that detail of the PV kit. This PV kit, this disc, beside that help to hold the modules and in place, is made of a stainless steel, Series 300, and is tested with a UL 2703 for grounding. What does that mean? It's like those teeth that you can see on the disc break the anodize of the aluminum, so created the bonding on the grounding between modules to modules. So in order to do that, you save all these copper wires or grounding wires between modules. You save that. You don't have to use it because you have this disc that help you with that. So it's a UL tested, and we use it for accommodate frames. This PV kit can work on frames that are 30 to 46 millimeters. So that's kind of what the concept that we use. And when if you are concerned about using direct attach, that you're going to use more surface on the roof, or it's not like that, because here you can see a project with rail, flat rail, with the clamps. So you can see here the modules are six file line of modules per 25 columns of modules. That is 150 modules there. That is with rail system. If you want to do it with a direct attach, no railing, just without clamps direct on the seam, it's the same 150 modules. What it changed now, you have less columns. You had 15 columns, and just you have more line of product, more files, like 10 modules by 15 columns. That's the only difference, but you have the same 150 modules on this array. Okay. To talk about the grounding on this system with PV kit, we have different accessories that we use. You can see here all these yellow squares are basically our PV kit that I showed you before. And if you want to take one of the modules in the middle to do maintenance, it's still the whole system is going to be grounded, because you have this the PV kit, the disc, but beside you put some bonding jumpers on that you can see in orange. That is the bonding jumpers that we can use. Here's some of the other accessories that we use for grounding. So you can see here the bonding jumper is the one in orange. We have clips that is going to attach to the module underneath to wire management, and they have the grounding clips that take the grounding to the whole system back to the building, and the PV kit. With this 4 accessories, you have a whole grounding for the whole system on the roof. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask questions here in the Q&A or chat. I have a lot of things to cover within an hour, so I'm trying to go fast for each of these topics. But if you have any question, we can address it, and we can give you more information after the presentation. Here we'll show you a short video about how to install the PV kit on standing seam. You can see the clamps. The first columns is the first line is important, because it has to be a square with the edges of the roof. When you square that line of modules, then the rest is going to be pretty easy, because the same module is going to give you the square of the roof. So you don't have to waste time in squaring the whole roof in order to install the modules. So you just need to make sure that the distance is equal on the whole on the edges of the roof, and then from then to the top is going to be pretty easy. The installation with PV kits and on a standing seam, it takes around a minute and a half per module, the installation. So it's pretty fast. When you install on exposed fastener, where you had to drill the roof, it takes around 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes the installation per modules. compared with other kind of system like short rails or other kind of, is more than 3.5 minutes per module. So you are saving a lot of in timing in big jobs. So this is a standing seam roof with clamps, and also we had the same one, but with brackets, which is exposed fastener roof. With this exposed fastener, we use different kind of brackets, but it's the same PV kit. It's just the bracket is different, and the same concept. You need to install the first line has to be aligned with all the modules with the roof. While everything is aligned, then you start installing the whole columns direct on the roof. The installation is pretty easy. It's just this is taking a little bit longer because you need to screws down all the screws on the brackets compared with the standing seam. So, okay, so if you have questions, please go ahead and ask the questions here. We have some of the questions, and Alex is going to be answering most of the questions here. So this is for exposed fastener roof. How you can see this installation. Now talking about the between exposed fastener roof and standing seam. On the exposed fastener roof, I mentioned you need to perforate in order to install modules. So that's why we have our line of brackets. You can see here is all the brackets that we have, and depending on the kind of the shape of the roof or everything, we can recommend each of these brackets. We have a rib bracket in the middle. We have 1 to 5, and that's changing depending on the angle between the trapezoidal. So you can see the ABC here is the dimensions that we need in order to recommend which bracket you can use. Okay. They have some questions on regarding how to space modules or between modules. And I mean, in that video, you can see in the previous video, they use like a wood, like a piece of wood between modules to give in a different separation, different gap. But if not, if you don't have that wood or any other piece that you can separate, you can use the same PV kit in order to separate the modules between columns and columns. Okay, because the rest is going to give you the PV kit. And also, for example, here we have if one of these rib bracket doesn't fit on these dimensions that you have, we have our Protea bracket. This Protea bracket what is we call Protea because it means universal, so it is adapt to any kind of trapezoidal shape. So with this one, you can see it has an L shape on the top. So that L shape we call L foot. You can install rail on the top of this, but it could be flat. Oh, sorry, it could be fastened on the bottom of the rail or on the side. It could be attached with this Protea bracket. All the rib brackets here in the middle, from the 1 to 5. It only can be installed with PV kits. It cannot install rails on the top of those rib brackets because it has much momentum on the screws when you attach, because it's attached to the sheet only. What we do is like compare with any other solutions is that we attach on the size of the rib. You can see here we create this rib bracket 5 for a roof Ternium TR 101. So we attach on the size instead of the top on the rib. When you attach on the top of the rib, you have less strength for negative force. Negative force is basically the force that the wind affect on the modules. Okay, so we have positive force, which is the weight, gravity, and we have negative force that is going up when that's what the wind affects on the modules. We use on these screws, we use needle point screws like this one. We don't use all the kind of self screws. These are self-piercing screws, but they are needle point. So what it does, this needle point, and you can see here that on this in this image that even the screws, there is the tiny part of the attachment. It has our logo on it, S5. Is because of the warranty. How we Rob mentioned the video, we put the name on everything. So we are the only one that put the name on everything because we are proud of the company, and also we know we had the best warranty in the market. Here you can see how you attach on the sides. So when you attach on the sides of the roof, what it does, this self-piercing needle point screws, it just create this this kind of teeth underneath the roof, so it gives you more strain for negative force if you go if the force of the wind on the modules. So it has these self screws are the head is stainless steel, and the body of the screws is carbon steel. So the carbon steel has a lot of strain for lateral shears. So you need to basically cut the screws in order to, if you want to, braid the attachment. The only way is to braid every screws and basically braid the roof before anything else. So that's the difference when you use, for example, short rails that is just attached on the rib. So you have less with short rail, you have less resistant for negative pressure compared with the PV kit. So you can see it here. Okay, so this is attachment on a exposed fastener roof. Okay, which is you had to perforate in order to attach. These are our line of brackets, but the PV kit, you can use our PV kit, which is the disc undergrad. You can use it with the clamps or with this bracket. Okay, especially with this kind of roof. If you see this kind of roof in your market, this is a perfect, because this roof are designed in order to isolate the heat or the cold in some areas from inside the building. So you don't want to perforate anything, or you want to install anything that pass this insulation, because you want to have just attached with our system is attached only to the sheet, not to the purlin. The same thing with we use a cover bracket for this kind of roof that sometimes are more common in residential but not in commercial, because it's not the best roof, but we've seen sometimes in residential area is undulated roof. Also our bracket, you can do a wire management pretty easy with our brackets. And also I know one of the questions that most of the builder owner and installers are concerned are about waterproof, that doesn't leak the roof, especially in areas that rain a lot, like in the Caribbean, like in your market. You wanna have a better products that seal this water seal that doesn't leak products water inside the building. That's why we do the best testing that is in the market, which is the ACTM E2140. This test is static water pressure. Basically, what it does is like you put all this bracket just with the seal that we provide, the seal that comes with the brackets and with the screws. We just provide. We do the test with just those seals, and we put in on 15 centimeters of pressure of water for 6 hours. So after 6 hours, that it can't leak anything. So if it leak, doesn't pass the test. So this is kind of like an image of the testing that we do, and this is the hardest test that you can use on this kind of products, because there is another one that is like a dynamic test. So that's basically it's water running on the roof, but it doesn't have any pressure. Here you have 15 centimeters of pressure on each bracket. So that's what we use in our, when you attach on the rib, how you can see you have two different attachments here in these pictures. You have attachment that is going on the body on the roof, that is attached on the purlin, and the other one on the roof of the roof that is attached or with the rib brackets just on the sheet only, just on the top. So when we attach to the sheet only the rib brackets just on the rib, on the top of the rib, we use EPDM open cell, closed cell. Sorry, here's the one on the left. You can see that is an open cell. Sorry, that there is a wrong spelling there. It's opposite. The open cell is the one that absorb water on your left on the screen. That is like a sponge that absorb water. And we use the closed cell, which is the one on the right that doesn't absorb water. So here you can see on the rib bracket that the rib bracket use a closed cell EPDM, no open cell. So the closed cell EPDM is attached from the manufacturer. So we attach directly on the brackets. So it's come with those seals already applied. Also, if you can attach this when you attach on the purlin with the other kind of solar food, you can attach with rails as well, but has another kind of seal that is like a butyl seal. It's not an EPDM. And here you can see a picture of a project installed in Jamaica. We installed this recently. They were installing. They are not finished the job yet. It's out of the oven. This picture, we just got it. And you can see here is in Jamaica is a strong wind as well, like in Trinidad and Tobago in that area. So they install this Protea bracket with PV kit, and they install 3 PV kits per modules instead of 2, because for the strength of the roof they needed more attachment. Okay, that's kind of like one of the projects that we installed. And here is the standing seam. A standing seam could be doesn't perforate the roof. This is all trays that it could be installed. How you see here, it could be a single fold that you can see in this image, or it could be a double fold seam like this one. So this double fold is more common in our in that market in the Caribbean because it's stronger than the single fold. Okay, this standing seam roof, it could be also insulation like a sandwich panel. For that we had different kind of clamps depending on the seam. You can see we have a big variety of clamps that we attach on this standing seam roof. And even we have this on the one in orange, about a yellow here on the top is in bronze for copper roof. Okay, one is for avoiding the metal allergy of the roof. But we don't have one clamp that fits all, because when you have one clamp that fits all, what it does is you decrease on performance, or you don't have the right price for that specific roof. So that's why each roof has their own clamp. Some of these clamps could fit in multiple different kind of seams that are in the markets. Okay, so we can tell you in our website there's some tools that you can go and if you don't know what kind of roof it is, you can see the shape of the roof, and then you can see which clamp it fits on that. If not, just send us some pictures on image and we can help you. Hopefully you send image with some dimensions, some reference, so we can see which clamp it works for you. On terms of clamps, we have 2 different clamps. And in clamp, we have clamps that are mini clamps that is made for solar, and it being tested for negative force. Okay, negative load test. So that is the mini. We don't use we just one set screw that is go on the bottom. And for other kind of products that has lateral shears, like for example, if you're going to use fall protection, or you have a AC unit that you're going to put on the roof, on the top of the roof, you can use the standard clamp, which is 2 set screws like this. So it's being tested in different ways. And all our clamps, at difference with other kind of products that are in the market or other kind of clamps, our clamp is a mechanical attachment, mechanical connection, compared with friction connection. There are two different things in the market. Here you can see on the blue, you can see an image of a competitor, which is a friction. I just put it here so you can see what the difference. A friction connection is basically these two legs that is holding the seam for both sides, but it doesn't deform the seam or doesn't create any mechanical attachment on the seam. And this kind of products, in the end, it results that it get loose. You need to go and maybe do review or check the torque on the screws, because it get loose with time. You know that metal roof is like a kind of like a living products, because it move with temperature and during the night and during the day. So again, make this kind of friction products get loose with time. Our mechanical attachment, which is our clamps, according to the ASCE 710, you can see here on the bottom, we use the mechanical attachment, which is kind of like what we do here on this image. What it does is that the set screws has to deform the standing seam, has to create this mechanical attachment, and how you can see here that they deform a little bit, but without damaging the galvanized or whatever is protecting the steel from the roof. So that's why we have a set screw that has a round point. Like this image, you can see our set screws is a round point compared with the competitors that we have seen, like needle points or cup shape screws. You want to try to avoid all those kind of screws and use for the round shape, because the cup shape screws, what it does is damage the roof. And imagine for all the installation, all the clamps that you're going to have on the roof, you're going to have a lot of points of corrosion, and then you damage the whole roof that you had your job. So you don't want that. You want to try to avoid that. Also, it's important always to have the right tools when you install. This is what you just need for our products. For the PV kit attachment, you will have you need a string. We use a string instead of Stream Shark, because Stream Shark is a mineral, so you had to clean up after you install it. We use, even though it's a detail, but we put a Sharpie here instead of using any mineral pencil that you put on the roof, because when you use mineral pencils and you write everything on this metal roof, especially in humid climate that rains a lot and everything, it creates corrosion, that mineral pencil. You can see here, like an installer adds some notes on the roof, but then with time that create corrosion because it's mineral. Okay, so it creates those kind of things. If you have any questions, please go ahead now. Yes, I mean, Philip say if you need a torque, yes, you will need a torque wrench as well. I put this in this image. This image is we have this Panasonic screwdriver that has the torque included. But if you don't have a tool like this one, you can use a torque wrench, and we provide you the torque wrench, the wrench that you need depending on the gauge of the roof. Okay, talking about now certification, that is talking about a little bit of torque as well, but we have been testing all our system and our products with different kind of laboratory and testing, like we have the FM, Intertech, ACTM, UL. The last one that we got is the Miami-Dade County, that is really being used in all Florida and also in the Caribbean as well. So we all this testing, most of the guys know all this testing, and the only way that we can validate and reinforce what we say, that we had the best products in the market, is with testing. If not, it would be just saying, just believing our word. And That's why we use this testing and independent laboratories that can help us to see if we have the right products and the right quality of products. Here you can see, for example, the aluminum looks all the same, look basically the same if you can see it. So one of these things that you can see is the ACTM B117, which is kind of like we put our products, you put the product inside of these machines and you get salty water on this for like 1,000 hours. So it's just water with salt that is going to spray on the products to accelerate a corrosion. And so you can see here that we put a roof, a sample of roof and a clamp. After 1,000 hours on this machine, on this testing, you can see that the roof is already showing some sign of corrosion, but also but our clamps doesn't have corrosion. It just has the natural that no oxidization that has the products, but you don't have any damage on the clamp. For the kind of aluminum that we use an aluminum 6061 or T6, which is like the best aluminum you can get for this kind of products. And also we put this testing to a double, so we double the hours. We got it in 2,000 hours of water with salt. So after 2,000 hours, the roof is already gone. It's already rusty and oxidated, but our clamps is still with the mechanical attachment on the roof. And this is critical because especially on the Caribbean, where you have category 5 or 4 of hurricanes with a strong wind, so you want to avoid seeing pictures like this, that when you install with rails on this kind of climate on areas, it creates the domino effect. So one solar modules that is attached on the rail is gonna take the whole line of modules because of the rails, the domino effect. That's why we test our products in different ways. Here's so you can see how we test the modules with negative pressure. So this is a testing that we did in Germany to do some tests in Europe. So what we did, we test the whole sandwich. We test the roof, the clamp, and the modules. And you can see here that the module is already at 2,500 Pascal of negative pressure, and is already collapsing the modules. But our attachment and our clamps is still there, it's solid, and it doesn't have any issue with that. That's why we test with negative pressure instead of wind, because the wind is not really accurate. For in order to, the wind, like 100 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour in a 10 meters high building has different pressure than 20 meter high pressure on buildings. So it's the same speed, but has different pressure, negative pressure on the roof, depending on the condition of the roof, how high the roof is, if it has parapets around the roof, or he's surrounded by other buildings, or it's an open space. So that's why it's a lot of aspect that affects this negative pressure. That's why we don't talk about wind, we talk about negative pressure, how you can see in the image. We test the clamp in different ways. The mini clamp is testing negative force, and the standing clamp is testing on lateral shear. You can see it here in the image, two different kind of performance on the roof. Also, we can do this testing on the same roof. When we don't have a sample of the roof, we can go and test it on the same roof and see the strength of the clamp straight on the roof. Okay, this concept of PV kit, which is a direct attach, is like you just need 10 centimeters out of the roof, the separation for the modules. With that 10 centimeter of the roof, it doesn't doesn't decrease the performance of the modules, but increase the resistance for the negative force that the wind affects on the modules. It's the same effects that they happen in the Formula One car, that is like going really doesn't have much gap between the roof, the ground with the car. So what it does, the wind, instead of making negative pressure on the car, it does a positive pressure. So it's going to put the car down instead of up. It's the same thing with our PV kits. The wind, instead of having more pressure, as a negative pressure, is like pushing down the modules because of the distance that has on with the metal. So that's why it increase the performance and the resistance for a strong wind. So in general terms, I would never recommend to install a railing system in Caribbean areas, or tilt system, with rail. That's trying to make it lowest as possible in order to avoid the negative pressure that you have. And you can see here in the same roof, you have different kind of pressure depending on the zone. This is according to the ASCE, the 710 or 716, depending on what your country use. But you have zone 3, zone 2, and zone 1. We are trying to avoid to install in zone 3, which is the zone that has more negative pressure. So and you install your modules in negative in zone 1 or 2. We have another kind of webinars that you can sign in for just wind of lift. Okay, this is a negative pressure, this wind of lift. Each of these topics that we have mentioned, we can talk for like hours, but for the time that we have today, we're just going to do an introduction to each of the topics that we can go in deep. Okay, here you can see, if you haven't seen a test report, here you can see a test report, and you can see that is pretty complete. We do it with a third-party lab, and that helps us to see what is the resistance for negative force on each clamps and depending of the roof. All these documents and testing are in our website as well. You guys can download it from there, or you can request it to us or through Tara, that she can get you that from us. To finish now, because we're almost in time, we're going to show you some projects that we have installed in Caribbean, and see. You can see here different roof. This is in Colombia that we install in the area by close to the Caribbean. Here you can see some of the countries in Costa Rica. That this is in the Caribbean as well. Here you can see other Walmart in Central America. All this is 1 megawatt. Another building. We are specifying all the Walmart buildings in Central America and America. So most of the Walmart roof has our system. Here you can see another Walmart. With our system, with our PV kit, is kind of flexible. You can do this kind of projects, and you can install this and make different kind of design because of this. Also for curved roof, that is a really good products for curved roof, because we don't use rails, and we just, depending on the radio of the roof, we can install the PV kit according to that. Here you can see other jobs, Mexico, also in Central America, more in the Caribbean, and here another one in Costa Rica. And we have presence a lot, and this is one of the biggest installation that we have made in. This is the project, the Apple computer. The Apple computer in San Bernardino, California. Here, just on the top of this roof, we install on this run, because it's a whole campus. In the whole campus, we install 17.4 megawatts. But just on the roof, on the circle in the middle, we install 7.4 megawatts. So 7.4 megawatts, and we were the only one that can be approved to install on this kind of roof, because of the certification that we have and the warranty. We put around 10 kilometers of walkways and fall protection line as well on this roof. So we just, I know that's questions asked about if we have products for other kind of roof, like concrete roof or tile roof or Spanish tile. No, we don't have anything for those kind of roof, because we just focus on what it is and what we are expert, which is metal roof. And it's like when you go to eat sushi, you go to a sushi restaurant, you don't go to a buffet to get sushi, because they're not going to give you the best. So we give in the buffet to the distributors, so the distributor can have different kind of multiple solutions. But as a provider, as a manufacturer, we just focus on what we do, which is our metal roof industry. Here's our information. You can see we are always on WhatsApp. If anybody use WhatsApp, we have WhatsApp, or we have our emails here. So you can contact us, you can send us the project, and we can help you with the project. Please just let us know how we can help you, and then you can get our products with Tara. Tara is working on and trying to get a variety of stock, depending on the roof that you can see there. But it's important to start working ahead. And please just try one job with us, with our system, with PV-Kit, and trust me, you won't regret it, and you're going to have the best warranty, and then you won't change it to another kind of system that you have. So this is what we do. And please just reach out to us and follow on our website, and we have a lot of YouTube channels, videos, and you can see, and also our website, we have it in English and in Spanish, depending on where you're located. Any questions of anything else that we can help you before we finish? Tara, Alex, Kimberly, everybody.
Yes, we're here.
Okay, so we had Tara, and Tara, you are mute. You want to say hi or?
Oh. Jesse, I think you answered most of the questions that the folks had. Also, the video, the recording of this webinar will be made available to all parties. And most of the information are available on the website, on the S5 website, and on our website. And we are here to help in any way whatsoever, in conjunction with the S5 team.
Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate for your time. And Alex, you have any questions that you want to say?
No, just a great presentation, Juan. And any question that you guys may have, you can send it over to me through my email that you saw. And that's it. Just great presentation, Juan.
Yeah. Well, thank you all. I'll see you in the next webinar.
Thank you, guys.